back. Happy Thursday here on a hot one out in Las Vegas. Craig, how's it look out there?
Hey, man, mid-high 80s here. Cooking.
Easy. Cooking, but not hot. Not hot yet.
No, it wasn't bad.
We're going to get some dry heat here for sure coming. Tonight, we're going to talk. I think we need a refresher. I don't always want to talk about, let me fix this cat, personal branding. I don't love hearing it so much anymore because I think everybody would know by now, shit, you need to have some sort of presence when somebody looks you up on the internet, or you are aware, Craig.
Yeah, you're in the witness protection program.
Yeah,
don't
they can't
want to be there.
That is where you are, and that's a problem. So, you're out there talking to these prospects, and I'm buying stuff right now. And the first thing I do before I'm on a call, let me look this guy up. Let's see if he's legit. Let's see if he's the guy. Because who do I want to do business with? I want the expert in the field, right? Everybody wants the expert. I want the guy I was on a call today with a real estate tax strategist talking about how to strategize for some capital gains I got coming. And, I go, look, just tell me what to do and tell me why, and that's it. Don't give me the whole background. I just want the expert. Tell me what to do. Now, I already have the know, like, and trust on them, right? Because I looked them up. I saw them in the forums. I saw them in stuff like we're doing. I know they're legit.
Yeah.
So I said, look, forget about all the BS. Just tell me exactly what to do and why. That's it. And that comes from because all this selling, right? We've talked about this plenty of times, Craig, is your marketing. Marketing does a lot of your selling on the front end, right? It does a lot of the selling, the credibility, the certainty in the client, where they've already, got past that point where, hey, you don't have to sell me anymore. I already know you're the guy, right? And what does that, Craig? You talk about it because I remember when I met you a couple of years back, I looked you up, and some of your stuff was back from 2012. 2012. Now,
where do you think everybody learned this from?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true. We all learn from the master. But 2012, so the stuff that you had looked like an infomercial because that's what you did back then. There weren't the stuff like now. It was legitimately an infomercial commercial where click this below and dial this 800 number and talk about it.
Look at show of hands. Has anybody ever been asked by a prospect, hey, can I see some references? Can I talk to some references? And so part of the reason is because they haven't been able to discover enough about you to trust that what you're saying can be done. So you have to figure out how to reverse engineer that, especially if you don't have any references. Figure out a way to give a prospect confidence that it can be done. I mean, why can't you include articles on how bundled pricing works? And here's a link to the shit. Medicare has 30 different bundles that they pay because it makes more sense. It's proven. Direct contracting, a positive reference-based pricing, story from Montana. You can create the confidence in things you're talking about without you necessarily having to have sold one.
Yeah. Nobody knows, right?
But you got to have something. If you don't have anything, then you're going to be between a rock and a hard place.
I'll give a quick story. Probably told this before. I go in New Jersey. I go to meet this client or prospect, and it's Italian guy. They build all the machines at the park, the rides at the park. Okay, from Italy, super Italians, which I think is good because I'm Italian. All right, we can vibe a little bit, right? I go in there, and again, Jersey, we're a little blunt. He goes, "My broker's Gallagher. I know who Gallagher is. Who the F are you?" And I didn't quite have an answer for him that year. I didn't really have an answer, and so fast forward 12 months later, meet Craig. Craig, remember we were in Philly. I sat next to you at the dinner. You pulled me aside. You're like, call this guy up. Talk to this guy. He'll get you media, this, that, and it. So I do all that stuff. I get testimonial videos made. We build. Shout out to Steve with Agency Annex. We build. What do you call them again? Shock and awe package, right?
Yeah,
Shock
yeah.
package. I buy this $20 box, camera box, right? Has all foam like this in it. We put the book, right, with the Amazon best-selling sticker on it, my picture on the front. We put an Amazon tablet with the video on it. So every time he swipes it up, turns it on, he's going to see the testimonial video. And he's not going to throw it away because it's, you're not going to throw a technology item away. You're going to give it to your kid. So you're always going to see it and remember it. And
keep it to remember me by.
Yeah. So the reality was I send this to him in advance, right? And this is what we do before we send prospects. So I don't have to go in and brag about myself, this and that. I don't even think I was in the magazine cover yet at this time. This was so far back. And so I go to the meeting the next year and I come in, he comes and meets me at the door this time. The CFO comes all the way to the front door when before it was just some schlep salesperson. It's like, hey, how you doing? Da-da-da, good to see you. You're thirsty? You want water? You want a cappuccino? He goes, we go in the back. He makes me a cappuccino. He walks around the building. He shows me, all the stuff for the theme park that they're building. And like, I'm not their broker yet. Right. And so the status level got raised up because you were not a twerp nobody when you came in. You were a person of status, and you illustrated that by media, by branding, the book, the video, other people talking about how great
without you saying it.
Without me saying
the old
it.
Chinese saying, the empty vessel makes the loudest noise. So you let your media do your talking for you.
Yeah, and so I go in, and the finance assistant's there. She comes up. She's like, "Oh my God, you wrote a book. That's so great." I was like, you're become a celebrity in your old world. You told me that. You're like, wait until they ask you to sign the book. And they
Every
do.
time.
They ask you to sign the book in the meeting.
Yeah.
And this is ever before talking. I go in, I sit down. He's like, you know what? The owner's here. Let's get him in shortly, as soon as he gets back. And, he's like, I got your package. That was good. And then the owner came in after, and he's like, when the guy pulled the thing out, and he's like, "Oh, I saw that. That was good. That was good." So like,
respect.
What a difference from saying, "Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Why should I do business to you?" to getting the red carpet rolled out by the prospect because they know you're legit. What do you say, Craig?
Yeah, 100% works, right? Just does. You don't have to listen, but you can continue struggling. So it's just so easy. And I've told you guys many, many times, I mean, you should get on television too. Why aren't you on ABC and Fox and NBC and CBS?
Tell them how easy it was. You were on TV in 2013, or was it 11, 10? Because it was right before Obamacare.
Yeah,
so
13,
it had to be
13, 14.
Yeah. Tell them how easy it is to get on TV.
Yeah. So I'm in Cleveland at Dan. Yeah. I'm at a conference, right? Another marketing conference that I've invested in and flown to try and get some nuggets. And I meet a guy during one of the breaks. Turns out he's there and he's a consultant. And you pay him and you spend a weekend. And at the end of the weekend, you've got your pitch and you present to 10 television producers. And they tell you right there on the spot, you suck, or yeah, we could have you on our new show. And then that's when all the work begins, because that doesn't mean anything. They just went, okay, you passed the first hurdle. Now you got to call. Now you got to call at 5 a.m, 6 a.m. before their shows start to get on their new schedule. But we'll get done with all that. Did live news shows. Let me tell you, that's a lot of fun. And it's just like building a muscle. So once you do it, knock yourself out. If you want to do it 10, 20, 30, 40 times, you can. But what I learned afterwards was it is possible to just write a check and get on the news shows. If you can come up with a good pitch that's primarily topical, you can know what the news station's things are, stories that are relevant. Just do it's the week of this, it's the month of that, it's the, cheese popcorn day. And you might have a shtick that incorporates what the day of the year is. You just look on Google and say, what's the calendar for the next 3 months? And you come up with your shtick that aligns with something that's topical and newsworthy, and it might also be educational. And I don't care what you're talking about. It doesn't mean you don't have to be talking about healthcare. You know, I just went on and did a public service announcement for NAHU. I didn't ask him for permission. I was educating people about how to find out about Obamacare and the
You
individual.
were doing like an
things
eight
market.
ball, an eight
Oh
ball.
yeah, I had a cigar and a timer and a bottle of wine and some dog food and created this whole shtick. And only one of my 6 interviews let me use the props and do my regular gig. The other ones, it was all different. And so you had to be flexible. You know, you had to be able to think on your feet, because just before the show starts, they tell you, oh, by the way, we're high def. You can't touch anything or it'll blur. So you set it up and you point to it. It's like, so stuff like that you can't plan for, but you know, the people are nice and you have an interesting conversation and all of a sudden you were on ABC.
You're on TV.
What was, oh yeah, who, that big box chain store person that's working on your 200-man group? Which team do you think they're on? The A team?
So I showed him the site. I said, yeah, just go to my site. I got more of the stuff on there, because he was looking for the thing. He's like, let me see the thing. I want to watch the video, and show him the video. I was like, no, just go to my site. And then I go, wait, who's your broker again? Let's play a game. Let's put him in. Oh, geez. I can't seem to find him. Let's play the game, right?
Yeah.
This guy's name, Craig Lack. So Craig Lack, most effective consultant you never heard of. Entrepreneur gave up NBA dreams to make millions. Author of Insurance Thought Leadership. Boom, 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 boom. We can go to images here. You're actually a real person.
Pages and pages, yeah.
I mean, there you go. Look, all the Heads Up Advisor stuff. Wait, is that you? No. High stakes advising. You were in USA Today. We can go to videos. You've got videos. People can see who you are. Look at this. Before you even get pages and pages. Tell them, Craig, is that by accident?
Sort of, but it was on purpose.
Well,
yeah. Right. I just kept writing checks and saying, okay, you know, I'm going, because I was, you know, transitioning retail to wholesale. And in the process, I didn't want people to go, well, I've never heard of you guys. Who the hell are you? And the net result of doing all the effort that I did was nobody ever questioned it.
Yeah. I mean, you better be legitimate. I'll show you an example. I mean, God, this is old now. I mean, this is not by accident. When they go to my website on retail, the first thing you see is an interview in Times Square, right? Talking about healthcare.
That was nails, yeah.
Giving my elevator pitch per se, but this is credibility instantly, right? Is there advisor? Is there attorney? Is there this? Is there that? Are they, being interviewed? No. And everybody thinks, well, you paid for that. Of course I paid for that. That's how the game works. How do you think these celebrities get on TV, get played on the radio? How do you think they get interviewed on the Jay Leno and stuff?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah, because you have to pay for somebody to get in the media. It's not like you got to pay them for the interview, or it's to get into the media. There's always somebody that has to get paid to do it, unless you are, Brad Pitt, right? And so if you keep going down, you'll see testimonials, you'll see awards. Let's go to this page. So again, everybody's going to check you out and go, is this guy legit? Right? Here's just in case they go direct to that. Here it is again. Here's quick facts. CFO Solutions, the organization that approves me. Boom, magazine cover. This was by mistake. This wasn't paid. But yeah, you can get on a magazine cover.
Let's talk about what the competitors are doing. So, guys and gals, we've got various producer groups, some of the second-tier national roll-up firms, the national agencies who are just an association of acquisitions. They're trying to create the illusion that they're one firm. And so you might have a school district and some of them have a mechanism where you can go, hey, does anybody have a school district you've used, right, that you've sold? And, can we, so how many school districts can we say we have, right? So whatever the association, the group is, up to and including some of the agencies, are trying to create the illusion that, hey, yeah, we can do schools because our firm has 63 school districts we've consulted with. And so again, you're not paying the person who wrote the 63 school districts, but this person who's now trying to sell you is leveraging the pool, if you will, to say, hey, we can do this. It won't be a surprise. And so if you have the ability to do that, it might help in some way, shape, or form. But you got to do something, because the game's changing really fast.
People want the expert. Look, the brand name and everything, big name is that. And I realized a couple years back when I started doing this, Steve, who Agency Annex, he told me years ago, Craig, before I met you doing this, he goes, no, let's do John Sbrocco. And I go, no, that's not what the big guys do. It's not what Mercer, it's not what Marsh does. Let's just copy what they do. But I didn't realize I'd never be a Marsh or Mercer name. I was just going to be me.
Right. How could you and two people deliver on 4-inch thick capabilities binders? I mean, it's silly.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. And
it's not going to happen.
And so, in our world, I mean, in most cases, the reality is they buy you at the end of the day. So they want to brag about you. They want to say they work with you. I mean, when I had the books to some of my clients, they were like, give me a couple copies. I want to give them out to people because they're excited to say that you're their advisor because you're a semi-celebrity. You're legit and, you have media attention. So you've got to make it about you. The branding, if you're at a smaller firm, again, because they want to work with the expert. Nobody wants the B team. Right? Everybody wants.
Who are you paying to give you advice? Who is it? And so if you can differentiate and then change how they compete against you, so you're not competing against the 4-inch capabilities binder, which they'll beat you every time. So you have to flip the script and make them compete at your level. And so you have to have resources and tools that the prospective buyer can look at, analyze, and say, wow, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. It's really that simple. I mean, you're never going to go toe to toe with the big guys. They have scale and resources and money you're not going to have. And so don't try to compete with them at their strengths. Their biggest weakness is the opportunity to say, yeah, but you're a 250-man group. And yes, I understand you with big box national firm, but their clients include the Fortune 500. You're not under the illusion, or you're not thinking that those people are giving you advice, are you? Oh, it's this person. Oh, well, yeah, I looked them up. They actually used to be part of Fred Tire Biter Insurance Agency 4 years ago, and they bought them. And so who you're getting to give you advice isn't really the brand. It's really that person at that agency. And so now you've just said, let's go toe to toe with that person. And your ability to do that will make it easier for you to compete against people who are bigger than you.
Yeah, you got to create a competitive advantage with yourself. Those that haven't already, forgot to mention, High Stakes Advising, close to selling out, sold 10 more tickets last week. We're getting close. August 9th and 10th, going to be a great event. So I was listening to Sales School by Jordan Belfort today, right? Because I still study. And so he was talking about it. So his method is you've got to get them to 3 10s. They got to be at 10 with you, your company, and your product. And so when you're going through these objections, he talks about the objections. The first objection, I always say, it's like a wall. You got to jump over it. It's a deflection, right? But when you bust through, then you loop back and deal with objective 1, and then objective 2, and objective 3, and they still say, hey, I'm going to talk about it. What they're conveying to you through those 3 objections is, I don't have certainty. You've not given me certainty in you, your product, and your company. And so basically, there may be uncertain about you. And like I said, through marketing, you can do a lot of your sales in advance. And that's what you're doing with this is they've got to be a 10 and confident with you. Recently, looked at some new tax strategies and stuff. And I talked to a few, some that had branding, some that marketed well. And then I interview them and, maybe they're not as good as their marketing. They're just really good at marketing. Right. So I wasn't a 10 with them, but those guys got me to the conversation because they had good marketing, credibility, so on and so forth. So I was going to be a 10 when I was coming in, and then you talk to them. But still, this is the reality is if your prospects, you're dealing with a smaller company, they're dealing with the big box, and that's fine. But if you're a smaller firm, you better have something to show why you're the best.
Yeah. I mean, just the thing that's different about insurance, whether you're selling P&C or health and welfare, is that the industry has conditioned the buyers to believe that it works a certain way. But that's not the way that you want to sell. Otherwise, it becomes the proverbial numbers game, the 20th century game of selling. So many calls, so many appointments, so many meetings, so many sales, and the ratio sucks. And it doesn't have to be that way. So you've got to figure out, how am I going to get them to a 10 and sound different and be different? And when they research me independently, which they always do, be different online somehow, some way.
Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, says, if you're not a brand, you're a commodity. And it's kind of true. You better have something behind you. You better have people talking. I'll go back to my site in a minute, but you better have other people talking about you that you could do what you say you're doing. Because if you don't, it's just you telling them it. So I don't know you from a hole in the wall. You cold called, you came in on a meeting. I have to believe you and see if that works. And now I'm asking a CFO or somebody who's not the owner to take a risk. Do they like taking risks, Craig?
No, they hate uncertainty and they don't like taking risks. So knowing that in advance, you go, how can I eliminate that?
Very simply. Talk about a couple of things you did, Craig. The money you've spent. How much money do you think you spent on your personal brand since 2012?
Oh, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands. Have you gotten a return on it?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Of course. What are some of the things that people listening, what are some of the things they could do that worked for you?
Well, I mean, if you're already comfortable, then skip the kid stuff and go right to television. Because there's, you're leveraging the authority that the brand has. What kind of authority does Fox Television have as a brand, or ABC? Or it's very strong. And there's almost nobody in our industry that has them. I mean, I know a few guys, and I probably only need one hand to count us who've done live television news shows. And it's incredibly differentiating and gives people confidence and certainty. Just a heads up, Trevor Lawrence, #1 pick.
Already went?
Just announced. Yeah.
Just announced. Yeah, I got to shorten this up. I'm going to go down to Circa, the biggest sports book in the world, to watch.
Like 400-inch screen. Yeah, that'll be impressive.
On like 400 foot screen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would get on television. I would try to, things are going to come back. The conference is going to come back. The speaking, get speaking gigs where it's relevant, right? See, remember, what you're trying to leverage is, can I leverage the authority of the event that I'm at? So what would a prospect perceive as valuable? A Chamber of Commerce meeting or the annual National Association of Health Underwriters conference that 100,000 health insurance brokers come to or attend or are members of, right? And, you leverage it. And so choose credible sources and solutions. Get published in things that would be perceived by a stranger to be like, oh, insurance thought leadership. It's exactly what it says it is. And so those are all things that are really, really easy to do. You just have to commit to a strategy where you're going to differentiate and force people to compete at your level instead of you constantly being forced into their round hole or their square peg, because, the incumbent has all the advantages. Hell, they hug the client before they leave. That's not easy to dislodge. So you've got to be prepared with things that are going to be perceived as, I'm confident that they know what they're talking about. Look what they've done. Look what they've said. Look where they've been. And you don't have to say anything. It does all the talking for you. I think it makes sense. It's worked for me. That's all I can vouch for.
Yeah, I remember one time when I charged them a fee, and I said, well, to work that up, it's going to be about $5,000. I'm like, wow, I wish I could, we could charge our clients to do the preliminary work. I said, yeah, I don't work for free anymore. And then I pulled out the magazine. I said, yeah, well, when you get on the cover, you get to start charging people. You know what I mean? And they laughed, right? And it was a joke, but I was showing them there's credibility, there's authority.
Did they write a check?
They did.
All that matters.
They did. They did write a check.
Right. You look, and it's so easy. It's like, look, you couldn't tell me that you're with Deloitte and Touche or Ernst and Young, and now you're gonna hire, Grant Thornton and have them come in here and go, well, I'm not going to pay you a fee to run a balance sheet and a forecasted tax return. No, you do it for free. And then if we like it, we might hire you. Come on. Every business person will laugh at that. Of course not. Well, I'm no different.
Michael Jurgen says, in your opinion, how important are letters of recommendation?
Well, I have not ever had one. I've never been asked for one. Letters of recommendation.
I think it would have to be who it came from, right?
Is that code for, here's like I've seen people have folders of, here's all my testimonial letters. Boom, page.
No, I think Tom Emmerich wrote one for me one time. And again, people aren't going to know who he is, but I can tell.
It's got to be somebody famous. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be it's the person that writes it. If it's your client, you could have wrote it, right? Maybe they're buying it. I don't know. Yeah, I've had them.
Right.
I've had them. I had them from Tom, and I don't know if I ever used it more than once or twice.
If you could get a letter of recommendation, you could have them shoot a video with their phone. I'll take the video any day of the week.
Yeah,
30 seconds. They can say all they need to say. Go, John was professional. He was thorough. He did a rigorous analysis. And all we've done is save money since we switched to his firm. Gold. That's all you need, right?
Yeah. And yeah, and some of you guys out there newer, we're in the same position, smaller firm or appear to be a smaller firm. And so sometimes you have to latch on to other organizations or, we have the Virtue Health Alliance, right? The group purchasing consortium. So I said to the guy today, I said, look, just tell them this is the program you're part of. We've got a national program that has 75, 100 employers in it. It's in 26 states. Yada, yada. It's not all your groups, but the program that you're selling that you're exclusively part of does. So latch on to other things if you have to. Just ways to get around it because they're going to ask those questions and they want to, I don't know what it is about employers, but they love to be kumbaya and be part of some group. I don't know what it is. They think group lowers healthcare costs, but if you do it right,
there's an old saying in business that the person, it's human nature that you'd rather be wrong with the group than to be right all alone. And so, that pretty much explains wellness, doesn't it? For 35 years. Let's ask Al Lewis what kind of measurable ROI that 99.5% of them can show. That would be none. So, yeah, thinking you can modify human behavior, knowing that there's a very significant portion of your group who wasn't thinking of changing, not interested in changing, or refuses to change. And those are often, there's a lot of overlap between that population and the population that you need to change because of their claims consumption. And so you can't do it and they don't change and they won't change. But you get all the healthy people signing up in that thing for a $25, $50 a month premium discount. And so, yeah, people love to be wrong with the group.
And look,
and they have a hard time like being the first one. How many clients can you think of, would be the proverbial, trailblazer with the spears in the arrows in their chest, as they say.
Let's see if I can just play this briefly for you guys. This is 4 years old, maybe longer. But also, it's not, the testimonial video is not, John's great, John, this and that. I recommend him, this and that. You got to get a little different than the typical ones. Creativity, right? Get something out of them. Shout out to Steve at Agency Annex for getting this one done. I believe this is the real good one. Can you hear it, Craig?
No, sir.
Cannot hear it.
Cannot hear it.
Damn it.
Wow, the Jets picked Zach Jones.
All right, you can't hear it. All right, you're just gonna have to go to the site then. I tried.
Yeah, it's too low.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I got. Oh, you know what? Let me try this. I know how to do it. I got to use the other. I'll switch the mic here. Give me 1 second.
Oh, Zach Wilson. Yeah. See, I don't even know who these guys are. Looks like he just graduated high school. My goodness.
All right, let's try this again. Who's it?
Zach Wilson to the Jets, number 2.
Can you hear it now?
Yes, it's starting.
We're believers now. In the beginning, it really came down to, do you believe what this guy's telling you? Say there's no downside or risk to this beyond what you're on the hook for now. The second thing that comes in your mind is, well, what's it going to take? Are these going to be real doctors, real networks, and things as such? And how is it going to be accepted by my people, and how do we get our people to buy in?
Whenever there's something new that comes across your desk, and especially in the case of the program that John Sbrocco was presenting, it seems daunting. And I have to say I was concerned about the time it would take to educate our employees, the time it would take on my part to administer this.
John and his team they've gone out of their way to spend time with us. They come in at 7 o'clock in the morning, multiple times. We do Spanish translation for our Hispanic workforce. And there's a lot of work involved in doing this. We appreciate it.
Because he cares about the employees, and in addition to that, he cares about saving us money. It almost seems as though he has a stake in our company.
You need somebody who knows what they're doing, and somebody who you can develop some confidence in. And that's what John did.
Prestige, John Sbrocco, and his associates get a round of applause and rave reviews from New Jersey Dogs.
Nice. When's the last time you wore a suit, man?
Long time. So, I mean, it's simple as that. Now, that was 11, 12 minutes of recording of those two people. And, the talent is in the edit.
Yeah, of course.
To Steve. But you want to have a conversation with him and get stuff out. I mean, she basically said, it's almost as if he has a stake in our company. Like, that's priceless to get them to say. I mean, and they're expressing what they thought. That we got them to express the challenges that's going on in your prospect's mind, right? This is what they're thinking. So he's relaying, like, it wasn't just, tell me how it's gone. Just tell me the outcome. No, tell me what you were thinking when you were going into this. Before you were introduced, tell me how things were going, right? And you're not going to use all of it. You're just looking for gems. You're just looking for punchlines, real good sizzle reel stuff, and get them, take them through that whole interview. And just, I mean, shit, the other one, I got 2 of them. There was so much good stuff. The other one's really good too. But you don't even tell them it's turned on. I don't even tell them. You just do it on we shot them on iPhones. This was years ago before I had all the fancy camera equipment. We shot that on an iPhone, okay? And
yeah, real is more important. Real is more important than the quality of the lights and everything. Yeah, the audio is your most important thing when you do that.
Yeah, you gotta have the lapel mic.
Have a good audio. The rest is fine.
Yeah, and we didn't even tell them the cameras on. We're like, we're just gonna test the mic. Go ahead. Hey. And then he was just like, so when did you meet with John? When did this come about? They don't even know the camera's on, because then they get shy when the camera's on. So don't even tell them the camera's on. That's what we did multiple times. That's all I'll do. I'll be like, you know what? Let me just set this up real quick. Let me get the mic. Let me just check the audio. You know what? Before I start it, I just want to talk about a couple of things. And they don't even know, they start talking real without the camera on, because they freeze when the camera's on, because most people aren't used to being on camera. But I mean, those are gold. You've got to get video testimonials. That video is 4 years old, maybe. Doesn't matter. You only really need 1 or 2 good ones. You know, you need 1 or 2 good case studies. And, you know, that's it. That helpful. What else, Craig?
That's a lot. You know, like I always tell everybody, pick one thing and just do it.
Yeah,
don't overthink this.
Video test. Look, guys, if you're doing great stuff for your clients and you're not telling anybody else about it, you're, I don't want to call you stupid, but you're dumb. Okay. I mean, dumb, stupid, whatever.
Don't miss out on that opportunity.
You're doing all these great things, but nobody knows it, right? Nobody knows that you're doing it. If you've gotten the track record and the results, the client will be happy to do it. I mean, I've saved that company there, my main case study, and it's going to stay on there. I'm not changing it. They've saved over $1 million on a smaller size group over 6 years, 5 years, whatever it is, and they're happy to do whatever I want. I mean, you've got clients that you've done great things for. Just find out who they are. Do it. Last words, Craig. Final thoughts.
Hey.
Oh, it's not free either. Spend money. I had to pay somebody to come, pay somebody to shoot the video, pay somebody to edit it. It's not free, guys, but that's worth its weight in gold.
Remember, all of your investments are just cash flow timing. You know, whether you need an assistant to do the things that you shouldn't be doing and to outsource that $15 an hour work, it's the new minimum wage that's coming, right? Or whatever it is, invest in it and realize that if you really believe in yourself and you know that what you're doing is good and you can sell and you can close, and more importantly, you can market so you can tell your story to more prospects, then you invest in advance and you get paid back later in multiples. If you don't invest, you struggle for a long time, and then all of a sudden what happens? 5 years goes by and you're basically in the same place.
Yeah, I mean, your website too, like it has to look to the story you're telling and selling. It's like, you know, let's see if I can pull some other people up. I mean, let's agency annex. Let's see, I can't spell today, sorry. But like, you know, people are like, so they got their website done and they were like, oh, so like when do people start calling? I'm like, no. Nobody's calling you by going to your website. It doesn't happen in our business. What this is here's Agency Annex. He does, Steve, those probably know him. He's probably done 20, 30 year sites. You know, what he does is he builds up, you know, the profile to show the expert that you are. And he'll help do it. He knows all the wording, so on and so forth, and make you look more legit and professional. Like if you're
knows the industry.
Yeah. If your stuff, you know, if it's like nothing on your website and it looks like everything else, most guys, what do? They list all of their capabilities, all these things that I can do. I can do it too. I can do it. You just look like every other.
It looks like everybody else. It really does.
They don't want to know about all that stuff. They want to know what you can accomplish. They want to hear what your clients are saying about you, what credibility you have. And they need that for certainty and confidence, right, Craig? What do we sell? Certainty and confidence.
Absolutely.
The prospect has it in you or they don't. Love that line. Anyway, we'll end it there, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, High Tech Advisors, going to be going out. Get your ticket. Super early bird is over. We are going to sell out very soon, and then I'm cutting it off because we already sold 50, 60 tickets last year, so we're coming to a close here. Either in or you're out. Jordan Belfort, #1 sales trainer in the world, will be there. Opening it up. Wolf of Wall Street. If you haven't watched it, you will sign up after you watch it. You guys, same place, same time. Happy hunting.
See you next week.